Oh. No, yeah. Penalty. Seguir penalty. No, está in negre.
Alla fine fai meglio te. Fai meglio te arrivare all'ultimo.
Non poteva uscire. Sei venuto a Paraguay? Claro. Aleno Flow? No.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to the Chang International Circuit. Motogp is back for 2026 as the PT Grand Prix of Thailand to kick off a 22-round season that will take the greatest motorsport show on earth on a global tour to 18 countries and 5 continents. Our first pre-event press conference of the season features our top 3 riders from 2025, led by Ducati Lenovo team rider Marc Marquez. Marc crowned Motogp World Champion for the 7th time in Japan last September, and Marc a 3-time winner here in Buram in 2018, 2019 and 2025. What a 2025 it was for BK8 Brazilian racing rider Alex Marquez. Alex second in the World Championship last year with 27 podiums, 3 Grand Prix wins, 3 sprint wins. His great year starting here last year with 2 second places in Buram 12 months ago. And completing today's lineup, always a pleasure to welcome Aprilia Racing's Marco Bezzecchi. Marco, an incredible finish to last season, winning the last 2 Grand Prix in Portimao and Valencia from pole position. Already a great start to 2026 for Marco, getting married to his RSGP in Malaysia early this month. But perhaps more importantly, Marco finishing testing here in Thailand just a few days ago in P1 and looking in great shape to start the new season. Gentlemen, welcome to all 3 of you. Great to see you all. Round 1, always huge excitement going into a new season. So to whet the appetite and get everybody revved up for 2026, let's get an exclusive first look at our contenders. What a lineup. Thankfully, it is time to go racing now for the first time in 2026. All kicks off this weekend. Well, Marc, we'll start the press conference with you. 5 days of winter testing to assess the shoulder you injured, of course, last year in Indonesia. 5 days to understand the performance of the new Ducati. So physically and technically, how do you feel coming into this new championship?
Yeah, technically we improve, and we improve especially the last day here in Thailand. We start to do some good steps in the direction where I want, and I start to feel better and better. It's true that I think the process of my recovery makes this precision a bit more difficult, to be precise in the comments and to be always riding in the same way. But yeah. Test always is harder for physical condition than a race weekend. So I expect here to start in a good way. Let's see, because in my right side I have the fastest guy in Sepang test. In my left side I have the fastest guy in Thailand test. So yeah, this season is new for everybody. We will try to fight against them and yeah, to be ready from the beginning.
Marc, 25 wins last year, 31 podiums, an incredible first year with the factory Ducati team. You're clearly the favourite, you're clearly the reference, but looking at Alex, looking at Marc, who you've just mentioned, looking at your teammate as well, Pecco Bagnaia, who's looked good in winter testing, are you expecting the challenge to defend the title to be tougher this year?
Every year is difficult and is tough. It's true that it's impossible to be the fastest rider in every weekend and in every session and in every practice. But yeah, my target is try to find a good consistent during different racetracks during all the calendar and yeah, I expect that especially in these fair races be better and better during the weekends.
Marc, best of luck to you and the team in your quest for that 8th World Championship in Motogp, which would tie you, of course, with Italian legend Giacomo Agostini. We'll come on then to BK8 Gresini racing rider Alex Marquez. Alex, as just mentioned, 2025 was an incredible season for you. Fastest, as Marc said, in the Sepang test. You look strong here as well last weekend. Confidence and expectations, I'm sure, are very high. So how do you assess your pre-season campaign?
Yeah, pre-season have been good for us. I mean, we were fast from the first moment in Sepang. We were able to make a really good job. It's true that this year in the test we have much more job, trying things, and you have less time to focus on yourself, you know, on riding style and just try to take all the 100 potential from the bike. But I think we did really a good two solid tests in Sepang and also here. You know, to be 100% happy, no, I think nobody's 100% happy. Everybody want a little bit more, everybody want to be more ready or some more days of testing, but I think we are quite ready to start. You know, a season of 22 races will be so long and we'll need to be, the consistency will be the key, but you know, I feel ready to start here in Thailand and we'll try our best to start the season in a good way.
The aim, obviously, Alex, is to go one better, if you can, in the World Championship this year. With the factory bike underneath you and with more experience going into 2026, do you feel better prepared to fight for the championship this year?
Yeah, I feel more prepared because last year, you know, the step that we did compare 24 to 25 was quite huge, and many situations that I approached it last year, I was not, you know, I didn't have the experience, no, of approach the situations in a good way. So to repeat a year like last year already will be a really good year. You know, it was a 25, it was an amazing year for us. But you know, you want always a little bit more. So as I said, will depend on our side, will depend on my hands and on my team hands. So we need to don't change the mentality, go race by race, and then try to extract the potential in every track. As Marc said, it will be really difficult in 22 races to be the fastest one in all the tracks, but for that reason I say that the consistency will be the key.
Alex, wishing you a great season as well in 2026. We'll come on then to Aprilia Racing's Marco Bezzecchi. Marco, 2025 finished in brilliant fashion for you. We mentioned those two victories you had in Portimao and Valencia. Second in the Sepang test, fastest here in Buram last weekend. So a lot of positives coming into the new season. Most riders are saying that the battle this weekend, in particular in Thailand, it's possibly going to be Marc, Alex, Pecco on the third Ducati and you. How do you see it looking ahead to this first Grand Prix?
Well, it's difficult. First of all, we did a good winter testing. Of course, Sepang was super important because when you start the new season, you always have to try many things, and in Sepang the items are always a lot. So it was important to understand the line to follow. Here we could focus a bit more also on preparing a bit the race weekend. Obviously, a test is always a test and a GP is always a GP, so difficult to make a comparison and difficult to see all the potential from everyone. At the end, in testing, you never know what the rivals are doing, but hopefully I can start in a good way, trying to fight with the top guys, and this could be fantastic.
As you just mentioned, Marco, testing is one thing, racing is a completely different ball game, but you look super strong. It looks like the Aprilia has improved as well. So do you feel yourself and the RSGP package do have the potential to fight for the championship this year? So many people are saying Marco Bezzecchi clearly is going to be a contender.
Well, it's clear that I hope this, but my target at the moment is try to start in a better way compared the 2025, because I think in the first half of the season we didn't grab the result that we could in every race. So I would like to start in a better shape, in a better way overall. Then I'm open to change my target after a couple of GPs.
Marco, good luck to you and the Aprilia Racing team this year in 2026. We have our first Motogp social coming up later on, but for the time being, for the first time this year, I'm happy to throw it open to the media.
Hello, gentlemen. This is Frank from Ziggo Sports. Question for you, Mark, and one for you, Alex. Mark, when you moved from Honda to Ducati, you felt you had to get the right feeling back and fun back. Obviously, that worked out. Last year, you wanted to prove that you could be one of the main championship contenders. Does that make preparation for this year different, knowing that you still can be world champion, and despite the fact that you're still not fully fit, and despite the fact that you are the guy who's being haunted at the moment, or hunted, does that make it different compared to last year?
Yeah, of course, last year, even the 2024 was just proof to myself that I was fast again and fast enough to fight for a championship, and I was, because I achieved it. So that was the main target. It's true that I was feeling last year in a very good shape. The fact of the injury of Indonesia looks an easy one in the beginning, but was not an easy one. It takes time, and the fact that it's again the right shoulder takes even more time. And I hope that I have a run of area to improve on the next races. But I don't know which will be my 100% of this right arm. So for that reason, I'm just keep going, and I want to understand in a race weekend where I am, because always the test is the most difficult thing when you don't feel well, because the fact to stop and go. You need to be connected for 6 hours in a row. So this is super difficult. But let's see how we can manage here the situation. But the target, if you are wearing a red t-shirt, Ducati t-shirt, is a fight for the championship.
Okay, thank you, Mark. And my question to you, Alex. Alex, we know obviously that when we look at the bike, you're better prepared than ever. But you personally, you say that maybe last year you were not ready for the job, more or less. What did you do during winter to be better prepared, and not just physically?
No, what I said basically was that I think some situations that I have last year, I didn't have the experience on the past, to fight for a MotoGP World title, or to fight against Marc, or to fight against some rivals that I was watching them quite far, in the last seasons until 25. So it was a little bit strange, and I think that in one moment of the season I was just thinking too much on the championship and not to take all the profit from the bike, and in that moment is where I start to make that mistakes in Brno, on Ring, Balaton, and all that. So that I think is the mistakes that I did in the past. I will try to solve it this year, but hopefully we'll be in the same situation, and then I will have the opportunity to take profit to that experience. But to arrive to that point, we need to make our job done in the first part of the season, and and try to have the same level as last year.
Hi guys, Neil Morrison here. I have a question for you again, Mark. I think you said to DAZN earlier today that you decided to go with the 2024 aero this year, partly because it helps you and your shoulder recovery, and you've had to change your riding style a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? How is your riding different now than it was, let's say, 1 year ago?
Yeah, basically in the end about aerodynamics, aero package, you need to find the best for your moment, for your riding style, and the one that performs better. The fact that I step back in the aerodynamics is one of the reasons, is because I cannot ride the bike in the same way as last year at the moment. So when the 2025 aerodynamic was a little bit more heavy, the bike, more demanding for the physical condition, and then just I'm trying to adapt my riding style to what I have now in my physical condition. But this doesn't matter that it's not working well. Both are working well, but in a different way. But one of my abilities is adapt to what I have and what I need. So I will try one more time in my career to adapt my riding style to this new situation until I feel more ready.
Yeah, hi guys, Adam Wheeler for the Race 19 Substack over here. Sorry, 2 more questions for Marc and Alex. Marc, can you talk a bit about the time you needed to think about being a MotoGP rider again for 1 or 2 years and the personal factors that came into that?
No, I mean, in the end, being a MotoGP rider means be 100% your main priority in your life for your job. This is how I understand being a rider. So it's true that always I try to follow what I learned in the past. And what I learned in the past is when I'm injured or when I'm not in a good moment, I cannot take any decision, even if it's for a sign a contract. So with Ducati, we are in a good line. Both parts we are very close. But yeah, I just asked to them to wait on the test and just try to understand how I am, and yeah, I'm feeling better, so I'm optimistic for the future. But I'm super happy with Ducati, and I hope Ducati with me.
And then Alex, do you think you're closer than ever in terms of competitiveness to Marc now?
A race weekend will show us where we are exactly, I think to everybody. So I think a test is one thing, and later on when you are in a race weekend, you see the reality and everybody's putting the 100% on the track. So not just after this race weekend, after 3-4 races, we'll see where we are and for what we can fight this year.
Hi, Dimitris Diatsidis from Cosmote TV Greece. A question first for Bez. Bez, you said that is another thing the test and another thing the race, but you were fast also in one lap and also in race pace. So why you don't consider yourself as the first favorite for the race here? And where is the Aprilia improved compared to the Aprilia of the last part of the last season?
Well, at the end, the first race, I think that the favorite is always the champion, no? So Marc clearly is the favorite because last season he was able to be dominant. So of course I was competitive in the test, also in the race simulation that was not too bad. But I want to keep my feet on the ground. I want to try to stay focused and try to start the weekend in the best way possible. Then of course I would love to be competitive for the podium or for a good race. And the bike, basically we tried to improve a little bit all the areas. Of course the stability was our main target, was the issue that we had the more time last year. So we worked a bit on that and worked on, but still we are trying to improve it even more, and also the other areas of the riding.
And question for Marc. Marc, you're with Joan Zarco, you are the most experienced riders in the grid. Now that is the last season of this era of 1000cc, and a part of Yamaha, the other engines are frozen. Do you think that is the year that we will see all the bikes after a few races finding a way to reach the level of Ducati and to have wins for at least 4 manufacturers?
I mean, of course, every year this is competition, and every year all the manufacturers, the riders improve the level. The fact that Ducati already were in a very high level in the previous years, the way to improve maybe is more difficult, but we are trying to improve in small details to make the difference. And an opposite, if you are in a very low level, the way to improve is the run to improve is much bigger. So let's see, but I expect a very strong Ducati and a very strong, especially Aprilia, that already finished in a very good year, in a very good way last season.
Yes, Melache Hércoles, Diario AS and Cadena Ser. A question for Marquez. Marc, I would like to know your opinion about 2 champions that in this moment are in problems. Quartararo and Toprak. Different situation, one is a rookie, but 2 champions in problem. What can you say about this?
I mean, many times in the sport, and especially here in the motor sport, it's not only depends about the rider and not only depends about the machine. It's a combination of it, and you need to find or to follow your instinct to find the best project for your moment, because in the end the people can say yeah, you need to believe, you need to wait, you need to work on this project, but in the end for a rider and for an athlete the years are passing and our life is not super long. So for both of them they need to decide what is your priority, but I think especially for Fabio, just Toprak needs more time and need to understand better, but Fabio needs to decide and will decide soon, if he don't decide already, which future we want to take. Yes? I don't know. I don't believe in the rumors.
Hello, David Few from L'Equipe. A question for Marco. Marco, we have seen the official announcement of your new contract, and it was quite special with the marriage. How special is Aprilia, generally speaking? Is it really different from other teams in the box and every day?
Well, they are special for sure, for me a lot. I don't know, I cannot make a comparison with the other teams, because at the end I was only with 2 teams in MotoGP, but they are special. Yes, they take care of me and they love me. I feel super warm inside the box, and this makes everything a little bit better. I hope to make them feel in the same way.
Yes, Manuel Vecino for Riding Sport. Marc, I have 2 questions for you. You just explained that you don't want to take a decision while you are injured, right? Do you feel yourself still injured, or are you already okay?
I'm already okay.
So you can take the decision now?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. And another thing completely out of this is about the...
After the race I will be more ready.
The future. The new MotoGP with the arrival of Liberty Media, it looks like there are some top sportsmen interested in joining MotoGP. Do you see yourself in the future as a team owner, in the far future, maybe in 3 years' time?
At the moment, no, because just I'm full focus with of riding, as I answered before. If you are a rider, just your life is just full focus on riding a bike. This is my philosophy, and in the future, you never know. In a few years, I will finish sooner or later my career, and then I will decide if. But I know that the MotoGP and motorcycle is a part of my life and will be part of my life.
Okay, I think it's now time for the first MotoGP Social of 2026. So I'll pass the baton and the microphone to my colleague, Kiko Giles.
Difícil, tío. microphone. Hello, guys. Motogp Social back for 2026. Quite an easy one, I think, to get underway. Put your top 5 riders at the end of this season. Who's your top 5 in the Motogp Championship?
Moto 3, Moto 2, ¿no?
La pressione a me, no? Va bene.
You don't have to put each other or yourself anywhere you want. It can be up to you. Maybe someone not in this room in P1. We'll just wait for Alex, and then we can all reveal together to see if there are any similarities or not. Are we all ready? Turn around. Are we going to specify which of the Marquez brothers in P1 or P2, or?
Up to you.
Up to you.
I know nothing.
For me, both are okay.
Perfect.
For Tadocchi, no.
But as long as it comes back to Saveda.
For me, Marquez, Italian, Acosta.
Perfect.
That's it.
Okay.
May I put the same standings as last year, no? Or Pecco finished 4? Yeah, 4.
4, yes.
No, Pecco 5th.
It was 5th, yeah.
Okay, so Pecco 4.
Why yourself not in the top 5, Marco?
Low profile.
But your teammate 5th, yes.
Yeah, why not?
Aprilia happy nonetheless. Okay, guys, that is all for MotoGP Social. We'll be back in Brazil. Matt, back to you.
Yeah, if you can just sign those boards, guys, you know the routine. And if we can just have one more task for you today, if you could stand for the official photograph. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll do one with the boards first. Mark's already ahead of the game. And then one without the boards, guys. That would be great. Thank you very much.
Have a good day. Vale. Finché non si acaba yo.
Mark, Alex, Marco, have a very safe and successful 2026.